Hello there folks, these are the hands of me, Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and this is a Thetford Porta Potti Qube 365, and, well, it's certainly not a sentence that I ever expected to be saying, but we're about to unbox a toilet. Now, did you ever expect to hear that in a video that you'd be watching? Anyway, life has fetched us all to this point, so let's move on without further ado. I say just now that for anybody who doesn't know, I live on a boat, and so I have a couple of these on board, and then there's various places along the canal that you can empty them, and the toilet situation is probably one of the biggest and most frequent questions that I get asked about, well, all aspects of living on board. So I thought we'll do a proper unboxing of this so people can have a proper in-depth look at what it's all about, and I'll do a proper video on the exact setup of where you can empty and what that's all about along the canal in another video. So, well, let's dive in. Definitely not literally though. I suppose being an unboxing we need a 360 as well. Oh dear me, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. So, let's go for it. And it is at this point now that we pop this open. Now one of these will set you back between, I'd say, 70 and 90 quid depending on where you get it from. If I pop this up here with the camera, you can see that's pretty much exactly what you'd expect to be in the top of the box. So, the moment of truth. Here you have your toilet. And, well, as you can see, it's pretty much what you expect. These are two separate parts. This is the bottom tank. This is, well, obviously the top tank. And the bottom tank is obviously the waste tank where all the unpleasant stuff is collected. And if we pop the lid open here, you'll see that it comes with a few free samples of the toilet fluids and a few little bits and pieces. So if we have a look here, first of all, like I say, you've got your samples of the toilet fluids, one for the bottom, one for the top tank. And then here we've got the two caps, the cap for the top tank and, well, once again the bottom tank there. So as you can see, we've got the lid up there, and, well, this part here is where you would put the chemical for the top tank and any water that you want to go in the flushing mechanism. The flush itself this is called a piston flush, where you lift that up, which sucks a load of water up, and then press it down, and that squirts the water out and around the rim there. And obviously that's got the top chemical in as well. And obviously just generally helps with the cleaning and flush process. Then obviously you've got your toilet seat. And then ultimately, when everything unpleasant is done and sorted, you've got your bottom tank, which obviously everything needs to go down into, which basically you have a handle on the front here, which you pull out, which pulls a door across from there. Everything goes down, and then, my goodness me, you want to make sure that's closed up pretty sharpish. And, well, that's pretty much the general overview. But then, obviously, there's only so much that this can hold. This is about a 21 litre capacity, so that needs to be emptied. Enter the next stage. So it's at this point that we want to make sure that this top part is keeping this completely sealed and closed. And if we spin this round and give you a quick 360, you'll see on this back part here we've got a few bits and pieces going on, and the handle that I'm always too scared to hold it by when it's full. But there's this catch here, which when we pull that, should in theory allow us to lift the top tank off. And then, well, you're separated out into the two tanks. And now we've got the waste tank on its own here. As you can see, it's got this tube to empty it by, which flips itself outwards. Once again, that cap there would be on this normally if it's in use. My goodness me, I don't dare think about what might happen if you haven't got that screwed on tight. And basically then, it is a case of taking it to one of the places at the side of the canal, in my case, There's marinas and places like Ellesmere where there's services that you can empty these out, and it is literally a case of hold your breath, hope for the best, and tip it out. And then you've got this part here which just lets a little bit of air in, so it stops, and I hate to say this on this subject, but it stops it basically like glugging and splashing to a certain extent, and helps the emptying process. And well, basically at the end of the day, you'd put your lid back on, take it back on board, fill it up with water and chemicals, it tells you the exact amount that's needed, and then once again put your top tank back on and you're all good to go. Obviously make sure everything is nice and secure when you are using something like this, because as I say, it doesn't bear thinking about how wrong something like this can go. So anyway, that's been a very quick unboxing and look at the Thetford Porta Potti Qube 365. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in all sorts of random stuff, make sure you subscribe, and if you're interested in narrow-about life in general, definitely keep your eye on my channel, as there's, well, 100 videos there already, and there's hundreds more to come. So, thank you very much for watching. Until the next time, have a fantastic day, and, well, farewell.